Happy Saturday, Stacking Sats Day, my crypto fam. Today is November 19th, 2022. And in today's show, Bitcoin scarcity rises as bad exchanges take 1.2 million Bitcoin out of circulation. That's right. In fact, over 150,000 Bitcoins were taken off the exchanges in the last 2 weeks. Also in today's show, Bitcoin sees record stock to flow miss as Bitcoin price model creator brushes off the FTX blip. That's right. According to the stock to flow model, the price right now should be $72,200, but the actual Bitcoin price is $16,600. Quoting Plan B, it feels like the world ended, but FTX will probably be just a small blip on the long-term radar. Also in today's show, Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyers terminate FTX representation due to conflicts of interest. Quoting the lawyer here, we informed Mr. Bankman-Fried several days ago after the filing of the FTX bankruptcy that conflicts have arisen that precluded us from representing him. Also in today's show, billionaire venture capitalist Tim Draper says one catalyst will trigger a 1,400% Bitcoin price explosion. That's right. In a new Bloomberg interview, Draper unveils what he believes would be the catalyst that fuels a Bitcoin rally to $250,000 per coin. Send it. Also in today's show, red alert, Grayscale liquidation could unleash a Bitcoin Armageddon. That's right. The FTX contagion effects do not even stop at the largest institutional Bitcoin product on the market, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. As a result of the bankruptcy of Bankman-Fried's crypto exchange FTX, the discount on the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust fund has fallen to around negative 40%. Also in today's show, I'm going to be sharing with you a $150,000 Bitcoin price prediction from venture fund Pantera Capital, and we're also going to be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. I want to welcome everyone just tuning into today's live episode. I'm your host, JV. This is episode number 1108 of the Crypto News Alerts pod, and today is November 19th, 2022, and we have lots to cover, so let's dive right in with today's Market Watch, shall we? As you can see, the top cryptos are currently correcting and in the red. We got Bitcoin down 0.2% for the day, trading just above 16,600 at the time of this recording. We got Ether also down 0.2%, maintaining just above $1,200, while Binance Coin, Polkadot, Solana, Avalanche, and Doge all correcting and in the red, while XRP, Cardano, Tron, and Litecoin are pumping and in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, you can see the current market cap sitting at $832 billion. When do you think we'll surpass that 1 trillion milestone again? Let me know in the comments below. The 24-hour volume is very low, I'd say extremely low, at 34 billion, with the Bitcoin dominance at 38.4%, with the Ether dominance at 17.8%. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers in the past 24 hours, we have eCash leading the pack, up 18.3%, followed by Zilliqa, up 5.7%, followed by OKB, up 4%, followed by the Sandbox, as well as Dash. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers for the past week, we can see Trust Wallet Token still leading the pack, up 72%, along with Ton, up 23%, and Chiliz, up 16.4%. And the biggest loss, naturally, FTT, which was the native token of the fallen FTX exchange. And checking out one of my favorite indicators, the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, shows we're currently rated a 23 in extreme fear, the same as yesterday. Last week was a 21, and last month was a 23 in extreme fear. And if you're not familiar with the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, extreme fear can be a sign investors are extremely worried and take advantage of that BTFD by that freaking dip. And with that being shared, welcome everyone just tuning into today's episode of Crypto News Alerts. Let's dive right into today's Bitcoin technical analysis, shall we? One of the biggest factors differentiating the king crypto from fiat currency in most cryptos is the hard limit of 21 million on its total circulating supply. However, the demise of numerous crypto exchanges over the last decade, including the last week, has permanently taken out at least 5.7%, which is 1.2 million BTC of the total issuable Bitcoin from circulation. Like, whoa, the lack of clarity around a crypto exchange's proof of reserves came out as the primary reason for their sudden collapses, as seen recently with FTX. Historical data around crypto crashes revealed that 14 crypto exchanges together were responsible for the loss of almost 1.2 million BTC, which represents 6. 6.3% of the 19.2 Bitcoin currently in circulation. As you can see here, it shows you those exchanges. Bitcoinica lost 61,000, Bitfloor lost 24,000, Mt. Gox was a whopping 650,000, and the list goes on and on. Now, an investigation conducted by Jameson Lopp, co-founder and chief technology officer of the Bitcoin storage platform Casa Hodl, shout out to Jameson. He said that Mt. Gox remains the top position when it comes to exchange losing their Bitcoin holdings. And while the scarcity of Bitcoin is directly related to the value of an asset, Lopp pointed out that fake Bitcoin offerings currently threaten the ecosystem, adding that Bitcoin will not be a great store of value if most people are buying fake Bitcoin. And lo and behold, people were buying fake Bitcoin on the FTX exchange. They were buying this fake artificial wrap Bitcoin. Now, investigations confirm that at least 80 crypto assets have Bitcoin in their names, aimed purely to mislead Bitcoin investors, which is a sad reality. And as a result, investors purchasing fake Bitcoin assets negatively impact the price appreciation of the original Bitcoin. As Jameson points out here, 80 plus crypto assets have the word Bitcoin in their name. 14 have a market cap of over $1 million. 3 claim to be Bitcoin. 1 is Bitcoin, and we all know the true Bitcoin. To ensure Bitcoin's position as safe, sound money, self-custody comes out as the most effective way to reduce reliance on crypto exchanges and corporate paper Bitcoin contracts. Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele recently announced plans to acquire 1 Bitcoin every single day starting November 17, 2022, which was yesterday, which I covered in great detail on the show. If you missed it, be sure to check it out. Now, public records show that El Salvador currently holds 2,381 Bitcoin at an average buying price of $43,000. However, stagnant Bitcoin performance opened up a window of opportunity for the country to substantially bring down its average price of its Bitcoin acquisition. So there you have it. Let me know if you are bullish for El Salvador for the long haul, even though their average buying price for the King Crypto is $43,000. Do you think dollar cost averaging at a current low for the cycle will help fix that? So when the next bull run comes and the next halving, El Salvador will be sitting pretty? Or do you feel that El Salvador can potentially be doomed being so negative sitting on their balance sheet? Let me know in the comments below. And as you can see here, just in, over 150,000 Bitcoin in the last 2 weeks were taken off the exchanges. So congratulations to all my Bitcoin hodlers protecting your Bitcoin in cold storage, which is where it should be at the end of the day. And again, welcome everyone just tuning in to today's live show. Let's now discuss the infamous stock to flow model, which predicts a $100,000 plus Bitcoin price between 2024 and 2025, because right now the stock to flow model is saying Bitcoin should be at 72,000, but ironically we're at 16,600, which is virtually the low for this cycle. I think we bottomed out thus far at 15,600. But without further ado, let's break down this next story of the day. Bitcoin is now further than ever from its target price. According to the stock to flow model, the latest data shows Bitcoin has deviated from the planned price growth to an extent never ever seen before, with the Bitcoin price suppression ongoing in the light of the FTX scandal. An already bearish trend has only strengthened. This has implications for many core aspects of the Bitcoin network, notably the miners, but some of its best known metrics are also feeling the heat. Among them is the stock to flow, which has seen its price forecast come under increasing strain as well as criticism, enjoying great popularity until Bitcoin's last all-time high in November of 2021 when we hit 69,000. The model uses block subsidy halving events as the central element in plotting exponential price growth through the years. Now, stock to flow allows for significant price deviations and is not up only, but even accounting for these, current targets are far higher than the spot price. According to dedicated monitoring resource, stock to flow multiple, Bitcoin should trade at just over $72,000 as of today, November 19th, given a multiple of negative 1.47. And on November 10th, the multiple reached negative 1.5, a record negative reading in stock to flow's lifetime as the FTX impact affects the market. And here you're looking at the Bitcoin stock to flow multiple chart. Now an alternative iteration of stock to flow model deviations from analytics platform Look into Bitcoin produce similar conclusions about this month's price action. Quoting them here, price has now strayed further below the stock to flow line than ever before, as its creator Philip Swift pointing out, and he shares currently a variance of negative 1.26 versus the previous previous all-time low of negative 1.21 back in 2011. Now, nonetheless, Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock-to-flow model, the analyst responsible for the creation and now defense of stock-to-flow, remains cool on its utility. Quoting him here, "It feels like the world ended, but FTX will probably just be a small blip on the long-term radar," he argued in his own tweet. And Plan B has fielded increasingly strong accusations over the model in 2022, these including claims that it is basis is fraudulent, and in response to the increasing deviation between target and spot price, he maintained that even a comparatively wide range for price to act within and still keep the model valid was still more useful than no insight at all. So there you have it. What are your thoughts surrounding the stock-to-flow model and Plan B? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. Personally, I like the stock-to-flow model. It has been the most historically accurate Bitcoin price model since the inception of Bitcoin, and if it wasn't for these black swan events, which I think took a lot of us off guard this year, we can potentially be at an all-time high for Bitcoin at around 72,000. However, unfortunately, many crypto lenders collapsed, including the second largest crypto exchange in the world, which is FTX. So it is what it is. But with that being shared, again, welcome everyone just tuning in. Now I want to discuss the ongoing saga of SBF and FTX as his lawyers have officially quit, which is not shocking to me whatsoever with the level of, scheming and fraudulent activity going on. Now, Paul Weiss, the law firm backing FTX CEO Bankman-Fried amid bankruptcy, renounced representing the entrepreneur, citing a conflict of interest. The decision to withdraw from representation after Bankman-Fried's tweets were found to disrupt the law firm's reorganization efforts. That's right, starting November 14th, SBF published a series of tweets that amassed extensive attention across crypto Twitter, to say the least. We've been watching this unfold in real time. It's been entertaining, to say the least. Now, the move, however, sparked speculations that the crypto tweets were used to distract bots from noticing concurrently deleted tweets. And while no ill intent could be concluded, Paul Weiss's attorney, Martin Flumenbaum, believed that Bankman-Fried's incessant and disruptive tweeting was negatively impacting the reorganization efforts. Quoting him here, "We informed Mr. Bankman-Fried several days ago about the filing of the FTX bankruptcy, that conflicts have arisen that preluded us from representing him, and the law firm's decision to back out from helping Bankman-Fried coincided with a much-awaited ruling of fellow fraudster Elizabeth Holmes, who got sentenced to prison, I believe, for 11 years after being convicted of criminal fraud. And Bankman-Fried makes her look like child's play, to say the least. Bankman-Fried currently faces scrutiny from multiple directions, including ongoing investigations around the misuse of customer funds and disclosing of bankruptcy-related documents." That's right. He literally stole the customers' funds in the exchanges to make very ill-intended investments, which obviously didn't pan out. And despite informing the defendants, the court may refuse an attorney's request and order them to continue the representation, which may seem impossible considering Bankman-Fried's behavioral concerns raised by the law firm. And recently, the Binance CEO CZ opened up about the time when Binance was almost ready to bail out FTX from a collapse. Reflecting on the situation, CZ shared, "When he came to me, I knew he was desperate. If we can't help him, there's probably nobody else that would. Probably a bunch of people passed on the deal before us. However, the deal for us to take over was called off after due diligence revealed bigger problems." So there you go. The saga continues with SBF. What do you feel will likely happen to this man? As he seems to be very well connected politically, do you think he'll actually serve any jail time for the biggest fraud in history, which makes Elron look like child's play as well? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. I also want to call out Gary Gensler. I mean, FTX was heavily regulated, the top second largest crypto exchange in the world. So the fact that the SEC and Gary was regulating this and they allowed this to happen, and it was that obvious to people and outsiders looking at where Bankman-Fried came up with his fortune, this is a red flag, and it should send red flag warnings across the entire industry. So obviously, I just wanted to point out that obvious. But with that being shared, now let's discuss a potential 1,400% rally for the King Crypto, according to billionaire investor capitalist Tim Draper, the one and only. Let's break this down. Venture capitalist Tim Draper is doubling down on his prediction. The King Crypto will reach a price of more than $250,000, which is a meteoric ascent of over 1,400% from the King Crypto's current value. Now, in a Bloomberg interview, Draper unveils what he believes would be the catalyst that fuels the Bitcoin rally to 250K. Quoting Draper here, the reason it gets to 250,000 and probably beyond is that it will take a moment when you can buy your food, your clothing, and your shelter all in Bitcoin. And here are the statistics that I know. Women control 80% of retail spending, and that's usually the food, the clothing, and the shelter. And women only have, way back, it was like 1 in 14 Bitcoin wallets, and now it's 1 in 6. And when women realize that they can get a discount by paying in Bitcoin, when retailers realize they can double their profits by accepting Bitcoin, it's going to move pretty quickly. Now, in May, the prominent venture capitalist reasserted his prediction Bitcoin would eventually hit his $250,000 price prediction. And in light of the high-profile implosion of FTX, Draper says that as an investor in the crypto space, he is focusing on decentralized assets. As he shares here, as an industry player, I am looking to invest in things that are decentralized. I think there are big opportunities in anything that looks like it has the opportunity to be decentralized, like DAOs. Now, the DAOs are going to be extraordinary for humankind. They're going to sort of bring us through an anthropological leap forward. I kind of like those. I like what's happening in smart contracts around Bitcoin. I think those are very exciting because they are going to make it to where we don't need as much leverage service or legal service. We can actually have most of those contracts built in the software. So there you have it. How many of you didn't know that Bitcoin offers smart contracts and that you don't need Ethereum to pull off a smart contract? That may be breaking news for many of you. And what are your thoughts surrounding his $250,000 Bitcoin price prediction, and with women leading that charge due to retail investing or retail purchasing, as women obviously are the breadwinners when it comes to spending, I would say, for most families. But anyways, now let's break down our next story of the day and discuss this massive Grayscale alert, because this has the potential to, again, shock the entire crypto industry and impact it tremendously, even more than what we've already seen, as the FTX contagion effects do not even stop the largest institutional Bitcoin product on the market, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, better known as GBTC. As a result of the bankruptcy of Bankman-Fried's crypto exchange FTX, the discount on the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust fund had fallen to around negative 40%, which I think is the greatest discount I have ever seen. Now, as recently as the end of 2020, GBTC was trading at a premium of plus 40%. However, in January of 2021, the trend reversal occurred when Grayscale's Bitcoin fund traded at a discount for the first time. And since then, GBTC has been on a downward slide, to say the least. Charts don't lie, which you can see here. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust's largest owners include Cathie Wood's ARK Invest, who owns 0.85%, Horizon Kinetics own 0.34%, and Simplify Asset Management own 0.06%. And then we have System Intelligence, Parkwood, and Emerald Mutual Fund all owning small portions, as well as Rothschild Investments, one of the Illuminati crime families of the world, even owns 0.01%, according to CNN Business. Now, could this be a potential doomsday for Bitcoin? Let's discuss it. Recent events have led the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust to become potentially the single biggest risk to the Bitcoin markets. As News BTC reported, Genesis Global had to pause all their withdrawals for its lending business on Wednesday due to unprecedented market turmoil, and this is concerning for the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and that Genesis Global served as the liquidity provider for the trust. Genesis Global's parent company is Digital Currency Group, DCG, and this in turn is also the parent company of Grayscale. Shortly after the Genesis announcement, Digital Currency Group clarified that the matter would have no impact on its own business. DCG stated that Genesis is not a service provider for any Grayscale product, and furthermore, the company asserted that it does not lend, borrow, or pledge Bitcoin, and that its custodian Coinbase is prohibited from engaging in such activities. In addition, the SEC and OTC Markets reports that audited financial statements are filed. As shared here, Grayscale products continue to operate business as usual, and recent events had no impact on product operations. The assets underlying Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and all the Grayscale products remain safe and secure, held in segregated wallets and deep cold storage by our custodian, Coinbase. Now, still, the community is belly aching. A dissolution of GBTC could mean Armageddon for the King Crypto. The collapse of Terra Luna, on the other hand, would have been fun. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust currently holds 634,000 BTC. The Terra Luna Foundation only liquidated 80,000 Bitcoins and still managed to crash the Bitcoin price from 40,000 all the way down down to 20K. And as Ryan Selkis reported, DCG is in a liquidity squeeze. Appears holding company DCG liquid assets are below liabilities. And as a result, it looks like DCG is looking to raise outside funding. However, since then, that tweet has been deleted, and the Bitcoin community is now demanding proof that Grayscale actually holds roughly 634,000 BTC in reserve at Brian Armstrong's Coinbase. However, neither Grayscale nor Coinbase has shown any reaction thus far, which is kind of alarming, and all that is currently available in a CSV file that is updated daily. As on-chain analyst Dylan LeClaire explained, it should be relatively feasible to produce a proof of reserves if all Bitcoins are held at Coinbase. As Dylan LeClaire shares here, does anyone know of the address of the 630,000 Bitcoin in GBTC? And are there some form of proof of reserves? And if no, why? Great question. We have fully transparent public ledgers, so we can audit this stuff. All I can find is a CSV file that updates daily. Why not just publish the address? But criticism also heads towards the US SEC. If Chairman Gary Gensler had approved the conversion of GBTC into an ETF, the Armageddon scenario would not even exist. But we all know they have been delaying the spot ETF for the United States for obvious reasons and corruption. Instead, Gensler preferred to reject the spot Bitcoin ETFs and flood the market with paper BTC. The FTX fiasco may also contribute to the lack of approval for a spot Bitcoin ETF in the future. Meanwhile, Chris Bernsick, partner and placeholder and former crypto chief at ARK Invest, tweeted that fears surrounding the unwinding of GBTC and ETH are unfounded. As an example of hysteria, as shared here, he retweeted Bob Lucas, who wrote that the trust will not go away as a money printing machine. Shared here, they generate like $700 million in fees, and investors can't stop it. They couldn't borrow billions against that cash flow. Also, you're not going to be killing the goose to save Genesis. They are. Firewall. And at press time, Bitcoin investors seem to agree with Chris Bernsick. Bitcoin remains in a wait and see mode. But what do you think is likely to occur as a result of this? Do you think this will have an impact on the price of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust? Or do you think Genesis can potentially go insolvent? Do you think they have the Bitcoin at the Coinbase exchange as they say, even though they're not showing proof of it with the Bitcoin wallet address? Let me know how you feel things are likely to unfold in the comments below. And naturally, I'll be keeping you posted with the latest of this situation. With that being shared, now let's discuss a $150,000 Bitcoin price prediction from Pantera Capital's Dan Moorhead. Let's discuss it, but also keep in mind, it's interesting that they have this bullish prediction considering we're at like all-time lows for this bull market cycle. But here's why Bitcoin is likely to hit 150,000 according to Pantera, and is due to the Bitcoin halving. In each Bitcoin halving, the reward for mining a new block on the Bitcoin blockchain falls by 1/2. Today, for example, Bitcoin miners receive 6.25 Bitcoins every time they successfully mine a new block. And when the next Bitcoin halving occurs in March of 2024 or around that time, the size of the reward will fall to 3.125 Bitcoins. All of this controlled algorithmically, which ensures that Bitcoin miners all over the world know exactly when this halving event is going to happen. I cannot wait. It also ensures that investors all over the world know exactly when it's going to happen and what makes the halving event so special. There have been 3 halving events in the past. We had one in 2012, 2016, and 2020, and each has followed a similar pattern. There is a bottoming out of the Bitcoin market approximately 15 months in advance of the halving, then a gradual increase in the price of Bitcoin heading into the halving, and then a massive skyrocketing into price afterward for a period of about 15 months. So let's discuss this path forward to 149,000. If you apply the same logic to the next Bitcoin halving in 2024, then we should expect a similar bullish run for the King Crypto. By running the numbers, Pantera Capital calculated there will be a bottoming out of Bitcoin by the end of November, which is what? 2 weeks away, a gradual recovery into 2023 and early 2024, and then a massive explosion afterward. This is based on modeling previous Bitcoin halving events and then extrapolating forward. And according to Pantera Capital, Bitcoin typically hits a bottom 477 days prior to the halving and then reaches a peak in the bull market cycle approximately 480 days after the halving. And even if you're not bullish on Bitcoin, you have to acknowledge that there is a beautiful symmetry to all of this. Pantera Capital is now predicting that Bitcoin will rise to at 36,000 by March of 2024, and then skyrocket all the way to 149,000 after. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Now for a big caveat here, of course, in the past performance, there is no guarantee of future performance, and we also have to keep a close eye on 2024, as the great Bitcoin halving of 2024 could be the type of big narrative story that unites crypto investors worldwide. And sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, crypto investors will think that they need to get in early to order profit from halving, and they will buy Bitcoin while it's still trading from under 20,000. This in turn will push Bitcoin even higher. As more investors see this happening, they will start buying, leading to even more momentum, FOMO like a mofo, as I like to call it. And eventually, by the time we get to 2024, Bitcoin would appear to be following the exact trajectory promised by the model. But then what? Remember what happened this year with Ethereum and the big narrative story, the merge that promised to unite crypto investors worldwide. Everybody got excited that this might be a truly defining moment for crypto, and many predicted that Ethereum would skyrocket in value. But what did we get? Ethereum is still down more than 70% over the past 12 months, and some investors are warning Ethereum can dip below 1,000 from its current level of 1,200 from the time of this recording. So take every Bitcoin projection with a grain of salt and do your own due diligence. There is room to hope that Bitcoin will soar in the coming years, but just don't be seduced by anyone promising you that another massive Bitcoin rally is absolutely going to happen anytime soon. So there you have it. What are your thoughts surrounding this $150,000 price prediction for 2024, proceeding the next big halving event? And how many halving events were you able to experience being in this industry? I got involved in crypto in 2017, so my first big halving event, because I missed out in 2016, but I saw the parabolic surge of 2017, and the first full halving I got to experience was in 2020, and naturally we're just less than 2 years away from the next big halving of 2024, and I absolutely expect the price to go parabolic because it's simple supply and demand. At the end of the day, there is a limited scarce supply of Bitcoin, and there is a high increasing demand due to the scarcity built into the protocol. It's all mathematics, and that's why I trust in Bitcoin, because in mathematics we trust. With that being shared, welcome everyone just tuning in to today's live show. Let's dive right into one of my favorite segments, which is the live Q&A, and welcome everyone here in the live chat. Selling with Twin says 139 in the chat. Will Smith that like button as if it's Sam Bankman-Fried, the scamster himself. Feel me? Bitbud says, was that Bankman-Fried asking for money? Dude is always asking for money. I mean, he took tens of billions of dollars from investors and ran with it, and it looks like he is still not in prison, which shouldn't be too alarming, as it seems like the media, the politicians, and the corrupt elite and powers that be are in bed with him, protecting him, because they're just as corrupt as Bankman-Fried himself. Facts. Nathan Roth, welcome. Dragonflower, welcome. Steve W, welcome. Tony O.D. Modera, good to see you. Long time, my friend. Hope all is well with you as well. Shout out to South Africa. Yeah, that's what's up. Welcome, Erickson. Welcome, Dan. Yeah, we do need some moderators in the chat, so scammers, get lost. Eric says, Will Smith, Sam Bankman-Fried, you got it. Bitbud says, hey, JV, can you select 2 or 3 mods? Absolutely. I'm going to have to select Bitbud as a mod. I'm not going to do it here in real time because I don't know how to do it. But for the next show, we'll have moderators in place to get rid of the clowns in the chat. Absolutely. Steve says, I agree. Yes, in 2024. Dragonflower says, I hope it goes to $700 to $800, referring to Ethereum. I guess you'd be stacking up at that level. That's what's up. And Tom says, this will be my second halving. It's going to be fun. It's going to be my second halving as well. I absolutely cannot wait for the fireworks. It's the halvings which drive the parabolic rallies of the entire crypto ecosystem. That, my friend, is a fact. Steve says maybe next year, Bitcoin conference in the Bahamas. The last place I want to go, because I would probably flip out if I saw Bankman-Fried in public. And just saying. Mods to the rescue. Absolutely. So no scammers can be in this chat. And it's unfortunate that we have imposters and scammers all across social media. I just want to state the obvious. I will never reach out to anybody and ask you to send me crypto. If someone is pretending to be me, asking you for crypto, block them and note it's not really me, because I would never ask anyone to send me crypto, because I am not a scammer. This goes for the YouTube chat. This goes for Twitter comments. This goes all across the social media platforms. Regal says, all this FTX nonsense is just noise. Those with Bitcoin and self-custody have not been impacted at all, and the price is still very stable to boot. And you make a great point. I want to touch upon that actually, because you are absolutely right. One Bitcoin is still equivalent to one Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, as long as you didn't sell your precious BTC and sats, you haven't lost anything. That's why it is so important you hold your crypto and self-custody it. The only people who lost right now are the ish coiners, because they're so exposed to these ish coins and they got wrecked. Or if you had your Bitcoin on a major exchange such as FTX and you didn't heed the warnings I've been sharing with you here on the show for quite some time and you left it on the exchange, the only people who should have crypto on the exchanges are active traders who have extreme confidence and faith in what they're doing. The majority of traders are probably losers. I'd say 99% of the traders out there. And many of you aren't doing this professionally, so you're more than likely to get wrecked. So it is what it is. Just stress extreme caution, because you can't be too safe. So take your crypto, put it on cold storage, and you don't got to worry about all the exchanges in the world collapsing and falling apart in real time, because it can happen. Coinbase can collapse. Gemini can collapse. I'm not wishing this upon any crypto exchange. I want to see them do good, but at the same time, anything is possible. We've already experienced a slither of what can potentially happen with FTX, so anything is possible. I can't stress that enough. Yes, sir. Welcome, Mark Anthony. It's good to see you as well. He says 2 halvings until $1 million Bitcoin. DCA, now is the time. Follow in the footsteps of Bukele, who is purchasing 1 Bitcoin per day. Also like to stress, because people commonly ask, what if I can't afford to purchase a whole Bitcoin? Should I just buy Shiba Inu? No. The cool thing about Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin can be divided by 100 million Satoshis. This, my friend, is a fact. So you can average buy $5 at a time a Bitcoin. That's what makes the asset so intriguing. It doesn't matter if you can't afford an entire Bitcoin. Yes, the goal should be a whole coiner. Stack as many sats as humanly possible. Follow in the footsteps of Michael Saylor. Do what you got to do. But at the same time, if you're on a limited budget because you're not in the same financial situation as being as blessed as Michael Saylor, do what you can do, because some sats are better than having 0 sats. And that, my friend, is a fact. Stacking Sats 101. Yeah, exactly. And Michael Volkman, welcome as well, family. It's good to see you in the house. Someone asked, did Binance get hacked at the last halving? I remember a lot of FUD at the same time. Not to my knowledge, but if they did get hacked, I recall something happened at one point, but they made their customers whole because they had a relief fund, and that's the good thing about Binance. I think Binance, in my personal opinion, is superior to all the other top exchanges out there. Obviously, better than FTX because FTX is now bankrupt. I think it's better than Coinbase because they have much lower fees. Right now, Binance offers the lowest fees on a major centralized exchange. In fact, you can trade Bitcoin with the most common pairs with stablecoins, 0 trading fees. There's no other exchange out there that I'm aware of offering 0 trading fees. And on the other more popular crypto trading pairs like Bitcoin versus ETH, it's a fraction of what it would cost on Coinbase. And that includes Coinbase One, and that includes Coinbase Advance. And that includes Coinbase Pro. So Binance is superior. And I'm talking to US investors, and I'm not even an affiliate of Binance. I don't earn money promoting them. I had to do some research the other day now that FTX no longer exists. And I said, which exchange should be the go-to for US investors? And comparing the fees and the structure between Coinbase and Binance, in my humble opinion, I think Binance is a better deal because it's cheaper fees. And with cheaper fees, that's more sats for the stacking. Regal says 100%. Selling with Twins says Binance all the way. BitBud, I should probably get a sponsorship with Binance, right? Hit up CZ, let them know. Bottom coming soon near Xmas, then sideways until May before heading up, says BitBud. And I got to give a shout out to BitBud. He's been extremely accurate. He's been calling for a Bitcoin bottom of around this level. I mean, all the way down to 10,000 back when we were at all-time highs of 69,000. And dude has been dead accurate. Coinfather says, I'm going to have to watch the show again. My chief came into the office a little while ago, so I missed the middle of the show. It's all good. Spend that time with your family, fam. Tom says 1 sat will eventually be worth $1. So anyone can be a millionaire. That's right. And it's not difficult to become a Satoshi millionaire. And by that time, who knows, in the future, you may become an actual Bitcoin millionaire in US dollar terms. Lloyd Schultz, welcome family. He says BitBuy in Canada, 0% trading fees. Whoa. So is that an exchange? I'm not familiar with BitBuy, but that's pretty cool. Good to note, so we know where to go. Mr. Gaylord says, I've been on Binance US since November of 2020. Well, congratulations to you. What has been your experience thus far? So I made a trade the other day, trading some Ether for Bitcoin, and it was quick. I deposited my Ether on the exchange. It showed up within minutes, made my trade, and I sent it back to my cold storage wallet all within minutes. I was very impressed with how easy it was to use the exchange. So shout out to Binance and CZ once again. But still, even with it being safe and effective and low fees, still don't use them as your storage provider for your crypto. Just use it to make your trade and then take your crypto off the exchange and put it in cold storage would be my advice. Not investment advice, but just keeping your Satoshis safe advice, considering anything can happen. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know. CoinFather says, BitBud, that is my first scenario, but other scenario, bottom 10 to 8,000 in March of April 2023. There you have it. Where do you feel the low is likely to be? The current low is around 15,600. Do you feel we can potentially hit an $8,000 to $10,000 low? And if so, by which month? Do you think that will likely occur before the end of this year, or that will occur in maybe the first quarter, second quarter of 2023, leading into the next halving in 2024? And let's check out some of your answers. Pezza says yes to storage. CoinFather says, we'll take care. Crypto News Alerts fam. Yes, absolutely. Underbelly says, I think it happened with the Tether and Bitfinex actually. Also, red alert, be on the lookout for Tether/USDT falling apart. This is a major stablecoin. There's a lot of speculation right now with a lot of shenanigans going on, and this could also be another black swan event, which would greatly negatively impact the crypto industry. Eric says, millionaires are made in the bear markets. That, my friend, is a fact. The smart money is accumulating for good reason, because when we go parabolic and return to all-time highs, risk to reward ratio, what's the reward? We can 7x, 6 to 7x just to return to the all-time high, right? That's not even considering going 2x from the previous all-time high when we hit 69,000 November of last year. What if we 2x that this next halving, and in 2024, 2025, we're trading at 140,000. Now we're talking about 12 to 14x. That's the upside potential for the King Crypto. What's the downside? You do the math and let me know in the comments below. Welcome Rave Elevator, got the crypto fam here, says the same reason you did not buy Bitcoin at 4,000 in 2020 is the same reason you're not buying Bitcoin at $15,000 today. Selling with Twin says BUSD. Is that Binance USD? Is my stablecoin? That's what's up. Tom says, I am not sure, maybe $8,000 to $10,000 low in the next few months. And CoinFather says, true Rave, dollar cost average and how long? Let's freaking go. With that being shared, now let's dive into the final segment of the show, which is the big finish. In today's show, we discuss Bitcoin scarcity rising as bad exchanges take 1.2 million Bitcoin out of circulation. In fact, over 150,000 BTC were taken off the exchanges in the past 2 weeks alone. Also in today's show, we discuss Bitcoin sees a record stock to flow miss as Bitcoin price model creator Plan B brushes off this FTX blip. And I also mentioned that the stock to flow model price shows Bitcoin should be at 72,000 right now, but we're actually at $16,600. Also in today's show, we discussed Bankman-Fried's lawyers. They say they had to quit and terminate their representation due to conflicts of interest. And we also discussed billionaire venture capitalist Tim Draper's $250,000 Bitcoin price prediction by around the time of 2024, 2025, ultimately after the next halving. We also discussed a red alert with the Grayscale liquidation, which could potentially unleash a Bitcoin Armageddon. Also in today's show, we discussed Pantera Capital's $150,000 Bitcoin price prediction. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the